Wake up, Atlanta. It's time for coffee. Talk presented by Spotify. Fresh vibes, real talk.
Let's get started, shall we?
Yeah.
Good evening, folks. Welcome to a Coffee Talk in the evening presented by Spotify. Okay, so here's something to chew on. The final season of The Bear just dropped, and it's like the show decided to serve us a bittersweet dessert for its last course. Let's dive into what made this season such a unique send-off.
That's a great way to put it. Bittersweet. The fifth season really brought everything back to the restaurant, to those four walls that started it all. It felt like a deliberate choice to remind us of the heart of the series, but I'm curious, did it work for you?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, the season picks up right after season 4, and things are already looking pretty bleak. The Bear is barely hanging on, even though Marcus just won that huge Food and Wine Best New Chef award, and then Carmy drops this bombshell that he's leaving the restaurant business entirely. That moment really sets the tone for the whole season.
It really does. Carmy handing over the keys to Sydney and Richie felt like such a pivotal moment. Not just for the characters, but for the show itself. He's been the driving force behind everything. The passion, the chaos, the relentless pursuit of perfection. For him to step back like that, it's almost like the show is asking, what happens when the person holding it all together decides to let go?
Exactly, and that question hangs over the entire season. The staff is grappling with the idea that this might be their last ever service, and you can feel that tension in every scene. It's like they're all trying to make peace with the possibility of saying goodbye, not just to the restaurant, but to each other. And of course, in true The Bear fashion, everything that can go wrong does go wrong.
Oh, absolutely. The purveyors have cut them off because they're out of funds. So they're trying to stretch whatever ingredients they have into a menu that's worthy of their reputation. And then there's the weather. It's pouring rain outside, which just adds to the stress and chaos inside the kitchen. It's almost like the universe is conspiring against them.
And yet, amidst all that chaos, there are these really poignant moments where the characters have these quiet, reflective conversations with each other. That's something The Bear has always done so well, balancing the high stakes intensity of the kitchen with these raw emotional moments that remind you why you care about these characters in the first place.
Those moments are definitely a hallmark of the show. But I have to say, after 5 seasons, some of those scenes started to feel a bit repetitive. You know, 2 characters having a deep conversation that inevitably leads to a monologue. It's powerful, but it can also feel like, okay, we've seen this before.
I get that. It's like the show has a rhythm, a formula, and while it's effective, it can start to feel a bit predictable. But then you have episodes like Caramel, which is episode 7, and it reminds you why you fell in love with the show in the first place. That episode was just wow.
Caramel was phenomenal. It's the final dinner shift, and everyone on the staff is completely locked in. It's chaotic, it's stressful, but there's also this incredible sense of unity. They're all giving it everything they've got, and you can see how far they've come as individuals and as a team. Richie's whole maximizing mantra really comes into play here, and it's just so satisfying to watch.
It really is. And what's great about that episode is that it showcases the growth of every character. Carmy learns to control his temper and communicate with compassion. Sydney steps into her role as a confident leader. Richie transforms into this creative, caring hospitality manager. Marcus starts to mend his relationship with his father. Even the supporting characters like Tina, Gary, Ebra, and Neil have these moments of triumph in their careers.
It's like everyone gets their happy ending, which is nice on paper. But in practice, it did feel a little too neat, a little too saccharine. It's the kind of ending you might have expected after season 1, but did we really need 5 seasons to get here?
That's a fair point. The show has always been about the messiness of life, the chaos of the kitchen, and the raw, unfiltered emotions of its characters. So to see it wrap up in such a tidy, sentimental way feels a bit at odds with what made it so compelling in the first place.
And yet, there's something to be said for giving these characters the closure they deserve. They've been through so much, individually and as a group. It's almost like the show is saying, they've earned this. Let them have their moment.
Absolutely. And I think the meta-textual elements of this season add another layer to that. Like when Richie says restaurants suck, everything sucks. It's not just about the restaurant. It's about the show itself, about how it's evolved and how it's perceived by its audience.
That's true. Even the score reflects that shift. Instead of the raw punk energy of something like New Noise, we get this more polished, synthy Hans Zimmer vibe. It's like the show, much like the restaurant, has left its scrappier days behind for something more mature and streamlined.
And then there's the final episode, which really leans into that sentimentality. It's an hour-long farewell that gives Sid her flowers and hints at what's next for Carmy, even if it doesn't spell it out explicitly. The whole cast of characters gathers for one last family party. And for once, there's no drama. It's a soft landing, but maybe a little too soft.
Yeah, by that point, it felt like the show had fully embraced its sentimental side. The camera work, the score, it all felt very deliberate. Like they were trying to tug at your heartstrings one last time. And while it wasn't a bad way to end things, I couldn't help but feel like I was ready for the check 20 minutes ago.
That's a perfect metaphor. It's like a meal that starts off strong, but overstays its welcome just a bit. Still, there's no denying the impact the bear has had. It's changed the way we look at restaurants, at food, at the people behind the scenes. And for that, I think it deserves a lot of credit.
Absolutely. It wasn't a perfect final season, but it had its moments of brilliance. And at the end of the day, it gave us a chance to say goodbye to these characters who felt so real, so human. So, bye, Chef. You'll be missed.
Bye, Chef.
They're sore on Twitter. And I don't really care. I talked about it because it's a talking point. I said, if this thing is real. But again, you're so hell-bent on King gotta be wrong. Who cares? Buddy, grow up. And then he was like, you went to a known Trump site. Like, I got an app that says these guys support Trump, and I'm gonna go and not go to... listen, you can take that political stuff and shove it in your ass. I really don't care about it at all. I don't think about it. I don't care about it. When I decide to vote for whoever I decide to vote for, that's when I do that stuff. That's when I do that. I sit there and I go through the list of stuff that I wanted to... Oh. Y'all feel that? Oh. The music bag. Edmund Barnes. He's back in the building. Member for 8 months. So Jats rank. Mr. Barnes, do you know the music is here? Do you know this is what we do? So what's the crack, AD? Microsoft reward points got me Grand Theft Auto 6. You're not the only one, baby. You're not the only one, baby. See, if you mess with Xbox, Grand Theft Auto 6 could be free for you. Free for you. Free for you. Free for you. Get your rewards up, baby. Make it happen. We playing a different game over here. Let those dudes pay like they wait. But we found out Sony's deleting shit anyway. Imagine you waking up. You said, Pappy, remember your favorite movie, The Notebook? Let's go watch that. It's gone. Just like that. It's over. Yeesh. Yeesh. You know, this digital world is crazy, man. This digital world is crazy. We're locked in. We're in a stranglehold. We're held hostage. Oh. Honey. Delicious. I'm gonna tell you, man, not to make fun of you guys, because I'm serious, that's you paid money for something. You really paid money for something, and you woke up and it's gone. They didn't even refund you, right? I mean, I got the article and we're going to go into it. Because again, I tell you, I like to read them fresh-faced to react to it so you can get the organic reaction. I like other people that want to have this best image of their self online and they have to be as pristine and always right as possible. Oh. Yeah, look at that. I got, whatchamacallit in my beard. Look at that, see? That goes into that right there. These dudes, not saying that you're not supposed to care about stuff. I'm just saying, a lot of these dudes are so preoccupied with the perception of what everybody else has of them that they're never real. A lot of these guys are phony. And I get a chance to see it when I meet them. Because they be like, oh, Meg, you just like you are online. You change up. That must be hard. That must be hard. Trying to fit in a mold to try to fit somebody else's thing. But Sony doing what they're doing, man. And they're not the only ones. Let's keep it real. I remember not too long ago, Xbox or Microsoft had did this with their movies. So remember a movie store, and it did some weird thing where they like cut it out, and the movies that you did have, you was able to download them or go to some app or something stupid. And I mean, I still got the app, and I did have some of my digital movies there, and I still got them there. I think it's like 50 of them that I did purchase or that I did get in some weird way. Oh, when I was buying Blu-rays, and you know how you get to like the digital code and you're able to put the digital code and you get the digital movie. That's when, you know, Blu-rays was trying to transfer you over to the digital entity so you could build your digital library along with your physical library. So when you get rid of your physical library, you still have the licensing. That was a good thing, and that they was doing back then. That's when it was pro-consumer until now. And we started to witness and realize that these larger corporations want us to absolutely own nothing. Everybody. You sit there, you can talk about how Steam is so forward-facing for the consumer and so great for the consumer, GOG and all these other places. At some point in time, somebody's going to hit that switch and your digital self is going to be deleted in some form or fashion. Something's going to happen. I mean, I guess there's some fail-safes that you could take that game and transfer it to this place and that place, and it will exist at some point in time where it's not left on a server where you don't have access to it. But where the hoops that you got to jump through in order to be digitally safe is too much. It's too much. You know, I think it was like, what was it, Terminator 2? Let's get to the topic, man. Let's just get over there. Let me get rid of this. Let me get to that. Because I was like, I say, you know what? I didn't, at first, my topic today was going to be Grand Theft Auto and the pre-orders. Because the pre-orders is wild. Like, I got people that's in my DMs telling me, now you respect the gangster of Grand Theft Auto. And I'm like, buddy, I didn't know y'all dudes is strong out in the streets like this. Like, damn. And I didn't know it was like that. Be real. I'm serious. Like, you know, it's a whole different world. And then, that's okay. That could be a topic. Then I was like, let me see what else stupid Xbox did. Then I look at some stuff that Jason Schreier talked about, and Jason Schreier was talking about how the people aren't fired at compulsion. It's just the fact that the higher ups gave them the opportunity to seek jobs elsewhere, knowing that they will be affected after the 30th. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I said, that's like a cool boss thing to do. Like, yo, I will let you go put your resume out there so you can get gainful employment before your benefits run out. And I thought that was a nice thing. We was too gung-ho, too quick to be the first in the digital space to own some digital real estate, to be the first one to tell you that I buy all my stuff digitally. I don't get up to press a buy. I don't do anything. I don't get no disc. I don't put it in. And it's just there. And I could tell the quality. See, because the quality, you know, it was always quality versus physical. And, you know, we had the audio files and the video files that would tell you how the bit rate was. And I got high definition Blu-ray players upstairs, standalone high definition Blu-ray players that would broadcast your Blu-ray to the highest extent, because I was on the holdout team of physical. I still got discs upstairs. I had a whole crate full of Blu-ray discs upstairs. Not even a crate. It's a giant box full of movies. But little by little, I was wore down. PlayStation, and this is brought to you by Kotaku and John Walker. PlayStation is deleting 551 movies from consumers' accounts, reminding us nothing digital truly lasts forever. It's truly ours. Movies like Rambo, like, yo! Bridget Jones' Diary, The Dare Hunter, all being unceremoniously removed. Now, these are movies from my age. I remember going to the movies to go see Total Recall. I remember when Terminator 2 was a big thing. So a lot of us Gen Xers went out and got movies that reminded us of our past. And we were already apprehensive in getting any digital versions of anything that we had anyway. Now, with these weird Mandela effects going on where they are going back and scrubbing digital movies and changing stuff around so they can skew our reality, conspiracy theorist stuff talking. What is going on with, we thought we did something, we purchased, we did our part. We didn't do anything to violate terms of service. We didn't take a license.
Okay, so 2 weeks ago, Sean Carter, right? Sean Corey Carter stood on the stage in my city, Philadelphia, at the Roots Picnic. His first solo U.S. headline set in 7 years, and reminded everybody why his name still rings bells. New afro, 30 songs, a Meek Mill cameo on Dreams and Nightmares. It blew the roof off, right? Freestyle body shot aimed at Drake and Nicki that ran the timeline for 48 hours straight. And one night, Man Born and Marcy Projects gave the culture exactly what it needed. And the culture gave it right back. The applause was real, moment was real. Then the announcement dropped. Jay-Z is partnering with Target, a company that the black community has been actively boycotting for over a year, to release an exclusive 30th anniversary white vinyl edition of Reasonable Doubt, the same album he was just celebrating in Philly. The same album the culture helped make, Holy, drop in June 26. $40, 4 copies a customer, Target only. Goodwill from Philadelphia evaporated almost as fast as it accumulated. And the people upset right now, they're not wrong. Now first, let's get the facts straight, because some people in the defense squad are going to come with the, it's just the color variant argument. And that argument deserves an honest hearing before it gets dismantled. Now here's what's actually true. Target does not have exclusive rights to the entire anniversary album. What they have exclusively is the white 2 LP vinyl pressing with its own cover artwork and a collectible insert. A standard black 2 LP edition of the same 30th anniversary release is available for the identical $40 price directly through Roc Nation and other retailers. The album itself is on streaming platforms everywhere. Technically, you could celebrate Reasonable Doubt's 30th anniversary without setting foot in a Target. Limited scarcity on the white variant is a collector's trap by design. The music industry has known for decades that color variants drive dedicated fans into stores. Jay-Z has been in the industry long enough and know exactly how that math works. The whole "it's just a variant" defense is the most generous possible reading of the situation, and even that reading still lands wrong. Now let's go back to the beginning, because the revisionist history is already starting. Now in January 2025, Target announced that it was rolling back its Racial Equity Action and Change Initiative, or REACH, stopping reporting to third-party diversity evaluations like the Human Rights Campaign, Corporate Equality Index, and rebranding its supplier diversity team to the Sanitized Supplier Engagement. Now, this was not some abstract policy shuffle. Target had an active RFP specifically for black media. Black-owned media companies applied. They were selected, and then the program that they were selected for got killed. This is very important context here. The commitments that Target made weren't empty PR statements. They were contracts that were in motion. Target had pledged to spend more than $2 billion with Black-owned businesses by the end of 2025. They launched a scholarship program for HBCU students. Their CEO publicly stated after George Floyd's murder that as CEOs, they had to be the company's head of diversity and inclusion. These weren't promises, whispered in a boardroom. They went on the company's own website. They went in press releases. They were cited in earnings calls. And then, the moment Trump's second administration put DEI in its crosshairs, Target folded within days of the inauguration. Now, the boycott was launched February 1st, 2025, by civil rights attorney Nikema Levy Armstrong, Monique Colliers Doty of Black Lives Matter Minnesota, and Jelani Hassan of CARE Minnesota, who set outside Target's Minneapolis headquarters with a clear set of demands. Complete the $2 billion investment in Black-owned businesses, deposit $250 million into Black-owned banks, restore the equity commitments that were abandoned. Pastor Jamal Bryant amplified this effort with his 40-day Target fast. The boycott hit. Target stock dropped roughly 30% in 2025. The foot traffic declined. The company announced its first major layoffs in a decade. 1,800 corporate jobs gone. Now here's what those numbers represent. Black economic leverage working, functioning exactly the way it's supposed to. The community organized, stayed disciplined, absorb the discomfort, and move the corporation's bottom line. That is extraordinarily rare and extraordinarily hard to maintain. And then in March of 2026, Pastor Bryant announced that his fast was over. He said Target had made sufficient progress. Now, Levi Armstrong, one of the original organizers, immediately wrote an op-ed saying that Pastor Bryant had no authority to end the boycott and that the protest continues. Why should we end the boycott now when Target hasn't changed any of the policies that caused us to launch the boycott? The boycott never actually had a single leader. It never had a unified structure. That was both its strength and its eventual vulnerability. Into that vulnerability, Jay-Z stepped with a vinyl order form. Now here's where most of the coverage stops. And this is kind of where we have to go deeper. Now, Target is headquartered in Minneapolis, Minnesota, city where George Floyd was murdered. The city whose protests gave Target the political cover and cultural momentum to make those multi-billion-dollar DEI pledges in the first place. The city that gave Target the moral high ground. It spent 5 years marketing. And starting in December 2025, Minneapolis became the site of Operations Metro Surge, described by the Department of Homeland Security as the largest immigration enforcement operation ever conducted in the state. Thousands of armed and masked federal agents flooded the 20 cities. An ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good, a 37-year-old American citizen and mother of 3, on January 27th, 2026. VA nurse named Alex Preddy, also an American citizen, was shot and killed on January 24th. Hundreds of legally present refugees and immigrants were swept up in arrests. A federal judge found that ICE violated at least 96 court orders in Minnesota in the first month of the operation alone. Now, where was Target in all of this? Not only has Target been criticized for abandoning its DEI initiatives, it has also been accused of not standing up for immigrant communities during the ramped up ICE raids happening in its own backyard. The same company that, leaning on the murder of George Floyd to build its brand equity, stayed very quiet while federal agents terrorized the community blocks from its headquarters. The boycott is not just about, a DEI checklist. It's about whether a corporation that built goodwill on the backs of Black and brown trauma will stand up when that trauma is actively happening around it, or go silent when silence is more commercially convenient. Jay-Z, as smart as he is, knows all of this. He is not, some uninformed artist who just signed a distribution deal without reading the room. He is a billionaire with a team of lawyers, brand consultants, and cultural advisors. This deal didn't get approved by accident, which means the question isn't whether he knew the context. The question is whether the context was enough to make him say no. And clearly it wasn't. Now, The community needs to stop letting the, he's playing chess, blaming do the work that it hasn't earned. Because this is not the first time. This is a repeated pattern. The backlash revived memories of Jay-Z's controversial 2019 partnership with the NFL, a partnership that materialized at the precise moment the black community had built genuine leverage against the league over its treatment of Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick gave up his career. Eric Reed knelt right next to him and paid for it. The community held the line, and their Rock Nation announced it would partner with the NFL to run its Super Bowl halftime shows. And Jay-Z stood next to Roger Goodell and said, "I think we've moved past kneeling. It's time for actionable items." You want to know how do order a lead? Yes. When or just buck he apologized. He just Then I said my question. I think that we take it back. I think that we forget that Colin's whole thing was to bring attention to social injustice, correct? In that case, right, this is a success, right? This is the next thing, right? Because there's two parts of protesting. You go outside and you protest, and then the company or the individual say, "I hear you. What do we do next?" Right? So for me, it was like actionable item. What are we gonna do with it? Like everyone heard, and we hear what you say, everybody know. I agree with what you say. What are we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So we should millions and millions of people, or we get stuck on Colin not having a job. Kaepernick never saw another NFL snap. The Inspire Change initiative that Jay-Z helped create became a once-a-year talking point that the NFL trots out and packs away. What the NFL got out of the deal was a bridge back to the culture that it had alienated. What the community got was a halftime show and a hashtag. The NFL deal and the Target deal are the same type of architecture. Black people build leverage to collective sacrifice. A critical mass of that leverage starts to land. Jay-Z materializes with a contract that gives the corporation what it needs most, which is cultural legitimacy. The permission he gives Target is worth more than any record they could ever stock. A boycott only works as long as the community stays unified and stays uncomfortable together and focused. The second a beloved figure like Jay-Z signals that it's all good again, the wall cracks and the spending just creeps right back. He did it with the NFL, the wall cracked. Kaepernick still hasn't gotten a call. Now he's doing it with Target. The playbook is the same, Hill. Now, some people will say, well, other rappers did Target deals too. True. J. Cole partnered with Target to exclusively sell his album The Fallout. Kendrick Lamar's GNX is also a Target vinyl, exclusive. That is a real fact. And it's worth saying out loud that Jay-Z isn't the only one picking Target money right now. But it's also worth saying this. Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole do not publicly position themselves, as champions of black economic empowerment with the same volume or consistency that Jay-Z has. Jay-Z has given speeches at Georgetown. He's going on television to talk about black wealth. He's built an entire brand identity around being the embodiment of what black entrepreneurship can become. With that position comes accountability. You don't get to claim the mantle and then act like the mantle doesn't apply. And then there will be people that say, he has no obligation to be a civil rights leader. Fair. Nobody elected him to anything. He literally rapped, "I'm not a businessman. I'm a business man." That lyric was pretty much telling, right? He told us. We just didn't listen. But here's the tension. Jay-Z has also accepted the cultural title of community hero. He's spoken about Fred Hampton's birthday aligning with his own. He's built Rock Nation as a vehicle for social justice. You can't sit comfortably in both chairs, right? The one where you're a community elder who carries movement energy, and the one where you're just a businessman who owes nothing. He gotta pick a chair, right? The community is simply asking him to be consistent with the one that he chose publicly. And then, I hear people say, Beyonce has given more to the community than most. Beyonce is not on trial here, and that's a deflection. Whatever Beyonce has contributed is hers to own. It doesn't cancel Jay-Z's individual choices, and the fact that this defense is showing up tells you everything about how thin the actual defense is. Now, Target didn't just make a policy decision, right? Target performed a cultural performance of accountability after George Floyd's murder, accepted the goodwill that came with it cashed that goodwill in for years of brand equity and PR advantage, and then returned the throat of it the moment keeping it became politically costly. That is a specific kind of theft. It is the theft of moral currency, and the black community has been the repeated victim of this exact transaction. Corporations that show up at the vigil, print the shirts, put the statements in the homepage hero image, and then vanish the second the moment passes. What Jay-Z's partnership does, and this is the part that really stings the most, is validate Target's instinct that a culturally resonant partnership is an adequate substitute for actually meeting the community's demands. It signals to Target board that they don't really need to restore the $2 billion black business investment.
Welcome back to Pixel Pulse, your go-to source for the biggest trimmers in the gaming world. I'm Marcus Thompson, and joining me today is our esteemed tech reviewer, Emma Johnson. Emma, the air is practically buzzing, isn't it? Rockstar has officially pulled back the curtain on Grand Theft Auto 6, confirming a launch date of November 19th, 2026, exclusively for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS. This isn't just another game release, it feels like a cultural event. The anticipation has been building for years, almost reaching mythical proportions. What are your initial impressions, Emma, seeing this long-awaited title finally take concrete form?
Oh, Marcus, it's absolutely electric. You can practically feel the collective gasp of excitement across the gaming community, eh? It's truly incredible to see it moving from rumor and speculation to official news. That November 2026 release date feels both so close and yet so far for eager fans like myself. The marketing push is already in full swing, creating this undeniable buzz that only Rockstar seems capable of generating. I mean, the sheer scale of the reaction online, the discussions, the breakdowns of every tiny detail, it's a phenomenon. Knowing it's current gen only also solidifies its position as a true next-gen title, pushing boundaries. It's exhilarating to finally have solid ground to stand on regarding GTA 6.
Indeed, Emma. And speaking of solid ground, let's talk about the price. Rockstar has set the standard edition of GTA 6 at $79.99, a $10 increase over the typical AAA title this generation, with the Ultimate Edition coming in at a cool $99.99. This has certainly sparked a vigorous debate online, hasn't it? The Ultimate Edition in particular has drawn fire, with some calling its exclusive content a paywall. It includes premium vehicles, exclusive weapons, unique apparel, and even a mission tied solely to it. What's your take on this pricing strategy and the controversy it's generated, especially regarding that exclusive content?
It's definitely a hot topic, Marcus. While exclusive content in more expensive editions isn't new, the sheer breadth of what's locked behind that $99.99 Ultimate Edition for GTA 6 is significant. We're talking about exclusive shops, personalized weapon variants, classic car collections to restore, and even a mission involving the PTT Youngins gang. It feels like it amplifies the deepest and most immersive experience, as Rockstar puts it, but at a cost. For many, that price point, coupled with so much desirable content, feels a bit steep, creating a divide. Plus, digital pre-orders get a free month of GTA Plus, which automatically renews, meaning players need to be vigilant about canceling it. It's a savvy business move, but one that requires players to be on their toes.
Moving on to the visual feast, Rockstar recently unveiled 63 new screenshots for GTA 6, showcasing an incredible level of detail and immersing us deeper into Vice City's vibrant world. However, there's a conversation brewing amongst tech experts like Digital Foundry, who suggest it's unlikely these screenshots represent real-time results on current-gen consoles, including the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Emma, how do you balance this breathtaking visual promise with the technical realities? And on a related note, the big surprise, there will be no physical disc. The boxed version contains a download code. This digital-only push has certainly ruffled some feathers.
It's a classic pre-release dilemma, isn't it, Marcus? Those screenshots are absolutely stunning, painting a picture of a truly next-generation world, with amazing environments and character details. But Digital Foundry makes a valid point. Rendering that fidelity consistently on current hardware can be a challenge. We saw some clever Easter eggs too, like nods to previous Vice City release dates hidden in the Ultimate Edition shots. Regarding the physical disc, it's a huge shift. Many collectors and those with slower internet connections are quite disappointed, eh? Rockstar hasn't officially stated why, but analysts suggest it's a commercial decision. We've even seen fans creating their own custom physical editions to fill that void. It highlights a growing trend in the industry, for better or worse.
The release of GTA 6 also brings us to a pressing concern for many gamers: console availability. Major retailers are warning of potential shortages for PS5 and Xbox Series X/S consoles leading up to the November launch, citing ongoing hardware component issues. This news comes right after Microsoft announced significant price hikes for all Xbox Series models, effective August 1st. Emma, with GTA 6 being exclusive to these current-gen platforms, what impact do you foresee these factors having on players eager to jump into Leonida, and how are market forces reacting?
It's a perfect storm, Marcus, and it's definitely worrying for anyone who doesn't already own a current-gen console, eh? The price hikes for Xbox Series X and S models are substantial, with the Series X jumping from $649.99 to $799.99. Coupled with warnings of demand outstripping supply during the holiday period, it means many potential players might struggle to get their hands on a console and the game. We're already seeing scalpers trying to exploit this, listing GTA 6 at inflated prices on platforms like eBay, though thankfully the digital versions remain available at face value. It's also interesting to note PlayStation's clear marketing partnership with Rockstar. They've even rolled out a custom PS5 user interface promoting GTA 6. This deep integration suggests Sony is going all in, which adds another layer to the console scramble.
Lastly, Emma, a topic that has left many fans scratching their heads: the conspicuous absence of Trailer 3. Despite hopes that a new trailer would accompany the pre-order launch, it was a no-show, leaving many eager players wondering if we'll see another glimpse before the November release. Given Rockstar's history of masterful marketing, this silence is quite a talking point. What are your thoughts on their strategy here? And what are your overall expectations for GTA 6 as we count down to its highly anticipated launch?
It's a classic Rockstar move, isn't it? They truly march to the beat of their own drum. While most publishers would drop a new trailer to boost pre-orders, Rockstar seems confident that the existing hype alone is enough, which honestly, it probably is for GTA 6. Fans are dissecting every pixel of Trailer 2 and the new screenshots, so perhaps they feel additional trailers aren't strictly necessary. Looking ahead, my expectations are incredibly high. Despite the debates around pricing and discs, the sheer scale, ambition, and innovation that GTA titles usually bring are unparalleled. I anticipate a richly detailed, immersive world in Leonida, with compelling characters in Lucia and Jason, and a narrative that pushes boundaries. It's going to be a monumental release, shaping gaming discussions for years to come. I absolutely can't wait to jump in.
We bringin' good energy.
This has been Coffee Talk, presented by Spotify. From our cast, we thank you for listening.
Yeah.
May